All right, she speaks. The new Etsy CEO, Kruti Patel Goyal, has given her first interview. In case you guys haven't heard, Josh Silverman is out at the end of the year. He was the Etsy CEO for the last 8 years. He's gone. He's stepping down, quote unquote, stepping down, whatever that means, whether they forced him to step down or he chose it himself. Either way, Etsy is moving on. Hopefully, this will be a good thing. We will see what's going to happen. I mean, this Kruti has been in the organization for a little while. She's been the chief growth officer. But anyway, she gave this interview. I don't know why this interview, the camera quality is like not very good. Very weird. But anyway, so you guys don't have to listen to the 40-minute interview. I will break this down, what it means, give you some thoughts here so you know kind of the direction that Etsy is moving and her thoughts. So let's dive in so you guys know what the heck is going on. So here are the big themes and big takeaways from this meeting, because basically it opened up the forum so anyone could basically give questions, ask questions. So they answered the questions. So here's kind of the roundup. So the first, vision and strategy, is kind of part of this. Their goal, they really are amplifying the Keep Etsy Human movement, and they want to further invest in AI to help amplify that, to help amplify craftsmanship and personal connection, not replace it. So we'll see the actual action items of what this means. And if you talk to any company, any CEO, they're going to say something similar. They're all using AI to make their businesses better, to lower cost, all the things. So the actual strategy kind of remains to be seen. Some of the things they did talk about, which I think would be good. The goal is to spend less time on admin and SEO hacks and more time creating and serving buyers. They really want to get Etsy's machine learning to the place where it's doing most of the work and matching the best buyers with the best sellers. You're still going to have to know what's happening, like know how to set up your listings correctly. You're still going to have to be involved in SEO, as frustrating as that can be, because there's always going to be changes and you got to set your stuff up the right way so that you can be found. There's a lot of variables that play into SEO. So it's not as simple as setting it and forgetting it as much as we want it to be. There's going to be more changes on the horizon. I always say if you're an entrepreneur and you don't like change, it's probably not a good thing, right? There's going to be all kinds of changes. Number 2, traffic and demand. So shopping behavior has shifted to where people already are. So entertainment, social, search assistance. So Etsy really wants to continue to meet people where they are on different platforms, on different social medias, in AI and ChatGPT, all the things. So Etsy is really pushing, reach currently on TikTok and new discovery surfaces. They have integrated with ChatGPT, which is kind of cool. So your products can, if you participate in Offsite ads, your products can be shown in ChatGPT if someone's searching for stuff. So that's pretty neat. They're one of the first companies to do that, which is kind of neat. So we'll see where they take that. So what this means to you is they want to meet people outside of the Etsy platform as much as possible. So they're going to be investing in doing that, investing in their reach. So for you, it's going to be good because they'll be trying to find different ways to get people back to Etsy from these other different platforms. So that's going to hopefully help us all in terms of traffic. If you've been selling this last couple of months, traffic has dipped. It's not the same as it was. There's a lot of economic factors. I'm not going to get too deep into that right now. There's a lot of things, outside factors impacting that. And just so you know, Amazon has dipped, eBay has dipped. Other major platforms are seeing the same type of dip. So it's not just an Etsy problem. It's an overall economic problem. But with any dips, with any valleys, there's peaks that will come. So you just got to ride the wave. It's always ebbs and flows with business and selling online. Number 3, they talked about SEO titles and listing quality. So they talked about the shorter human titles are now encouraged. Etsy now pulls relevant signals across the listing, not just the title, so you don't need to keyword stuff. But basically, they want titles to be shorter. They've done their research basically saying that shorter titles have higher conversion rates because it's less confusing to buyers. However, they still allow you to put in the 140 characters or whatever titles. So if they really didn't want you to do longer titles, they would take that away. That's kind of my thought on it. So I get that it has to be clear. So definitely the first part of your title has to be clear. It can't just be random stuffed keywords. So you've got to still write it in a way that makes sense. But I still feel that if you can get some additional keywords in your title that make sense and don't take away from the readability of it, I still think it can help you. So at any rate, this is something that you test. We had a lot of people change their titles overnight, see a huge traffic dip. So this is not good, right? Any change, you shouldn't do it right away. You should do it slow and steady and test it. And Etsy messed this up by how they rolled this out and basically made it seem like it was something that people had to do when it was a choice. They rolled out a tool that made it easier to do, but also in doing that, more people did it and they shouldn't have done it, especially with like high performing listings. You don't ever want to change your title or your SEO or anything like that. It could tank the listing because when you make a change, the algorithm reanalyzes it and takes it out of search to put it back into search according to the changes you make. And what happens when you take it out of search? A dip happens. Chances are, it could come back. It may not come back to where it was. In most cases, it just doesn't bounce back to where it was. So just be careful. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the changes or any future changes that Etsy rolls out. Just because they are the platform doesn't mean they're the end all be all and know kind of everything about what's going to happen or how it's deeply going to impact sellers. Number 4, marketplace integrity. Handmade versus mass-produced AI art. So they are continuing to invest in the trust and safety and detection tech to keep ineligible items for sale. This is a battle with every platform. They have invested in AI to help detect stuff that don't fit the guidelines, but it's people that are stealing stuff, people that are trademark infringing, but it's an ongoing battle. You take 10 listings down, you have another 15 pop up. So there's a lot of bad actors out there. They have made it harder, more barrier to entry to open a shop, which I think is good. People complain about it, but it's making it harder for people to easily open a shop and start selling stuff and start doing. It's going to make watering down what is going to make it bad for all sellers on the platform. So they're saying that on AI created art, the seller must be clear on how it's made and show buyers what they value. So truly handcrafted versus AI assistant. So they expect better labeling controls, more relevant. So they don't have labeling. So right now you're quote unquote supposed to say that it used AI to help generate it, but there's no like specific labeling as of now. So they may roll that out. But if you use AI, they're basically saying you must disclose the fact that you used it. You cannot list your item under handmade or made by seller if you use AI in the core creation without human authorship. So instead, it should fall under designed by seller. And this is still the same. Selling AI recipes or prompts alone is prohibited. So you can't sell prompts. I'm assuming it's so people can't just buy the prompts and use them to mass create stuff because if you're using a prompt, you didn't actually create the item. So the part of the creation process is using your own brain to input what you want, and that's the creative process. So if you buy the prompt, it's like buying a design, throwing it on a shirt. You didn't create it, you didn't produce the item if you're doing POD, so that's against Etsy's policies. Sure, people are still doing that, and it's hard to detect, so that's part of the problem, I think, that they have to figure out, is how do they detect that stuff when it's really freaking hard to know if someone purchased the design elsewhere, unless it's like super popular or a trademark design, or something like that. Seller support and communication. This is a huge one. For a long time, many years now, their support has not been great. So they want to work on filling the gap of 24/7 live chat access. They want to increase the availability of support, quality of resolutions, and then which they need to do. The biggest complaint people has when they need help, they can't get a hold of a human. So they just need to do a better job. They need to invest more in customer support and streamlining that type of stuff so people get the actual help that they need and they're not just floundering. So I think we can all agree on that. And then they want more transparent rollouts. So that's just like the title thing. It was transparent, but not really. They didn't make it clear. It was murky. So this is why all these people made these changes and dive bombed their shop's traffic. They shouldn't have did it like that. They should have basically said, hey, here's the data. Here's what you can do, but also here's what could happen if you do it. So here's what we suggest. Here's how we suggest doing it. That's what I would have done. That's what they need to do, and that's what they need to do. International shipping and tariff pricing. So they rolled out the difference. They talked a little bit about this. They rolled out the difference where if you're outside of the U.S., you can price U.S. products differently than in your own country to account for tariffs. They're working with Royal Mail labels to re-implement that so you can buy labels on the platform, because they took away all the ability to buy labels because of the tariffs, because you can't prepay the labels through Etsy. So they're working on a way to bring those back. So you have to use a third-party tool to buy labels so you can prepay the tariffs. And then if you work in your pricing, obviously then you would take that cost that the customer paid to pay for the tariffs and then buy the labels. So that's how you have to do it now. So that hopefully they'll streamline it a little bit better in the future. Product requests and roadmap notes. So here's a couple of things that they have in the pipeline, or it's in their purview. Multiple shops under one account. Like this is, if you have multiple shops, you should easily be able to toggle between them to not have to log out, log into another shop. It's weird they haven't figured this out, right? That's kind of a weird thing. Listing images and cropping experiments. So they admitted that they messed this up because they were doing weird. They were showcasing listing images cropped weird, so they were showing up different sizes from what the listing size was. So things were getting cut off, sides were getting cut off, top and bottom were getting cut off. So it just looked weird because you do your pictures so that you can see everything, and then they were cropping it without you knowing. So in search, it looked really wonky. So it hurt traffic, hurt clicks, because people weren't clicking into it because certain major parts of the image were cut off. So it was really weird. Personalized orders. So they're exploring ways to pause processing times until buyers submit details. So I think this is really cool, because a lot of times people do personalization, but then they don't submit the details, so you can't fulfill the order, and it takes a while to get back in touch with these people. So that hurts, because then your processing times, you go past your processing times, and it's flagged as being late, hurts your star seller status. So it's really weird that they don't have that. So I think that's a good thing. So more analytics. So you do have the new stats and insights coming, which they have now for Plus. You have a view into the insights. I think if you don't have Plus, they still do it, but some of the things are cut off. So if you go in, here's my best performing shop here. 550,000 in sales. That's kind of nice, right? So if you go under, where is it at? They put it under stats and marketplace insights. So here's kind of the new thing they did, which is, it's all right, but it's very limited. I've done this in a previous video, which you can go and check out on how to use this. I would still rather use, Allura, like a tool like this. It's just way more vast, way more advanced. It's just weird that Etsy hasn't come up with something like this. It's just very, very basic. So I don't know if they're purposely trying to make it easy to use or what. And then number 8, community and offline. So they're exploring more in-person Etsy markets and activations. I'm not sure if this is a good thing or not. I guess it is a way to reach more people so that they know what Etsy is. There's still a lot of people that just haven't heard of Etsy. As big as it has become, there's still a lot of people that just don't know what it is. So it could help people understand what it is. It could help bring in more sellers, could help bring in more buyers. So probably not a bad thing. So we will see, but that's it. So those are the main overviews of the video of the interview. Still early yet. She hasn't taken over. So we'll see what this actually means for the future of Etsy, and if they're going to really shift this in the way that a lot of us think that it should be shifted. But if you guys need more help, pop over to the Etsy Games VIP community. So this is my community, positive, safe, motivational place where you can come hang out, learn from me, learn from other sellers. Every new member gets a live one-on-one coaching call with me. We go into your shop, talk about strategies, talk about a roadmap for the future to help reach your goals. I help you with your SEO, help you with accountability. It's just a fun, positive, safe, motivational place to come hang out and have fun, so that you don't have to worry about getting scammed or worry about Joe Schmo trying to get your bank routing information. So the link's below. Super inexpensive. I am value first. So similar programs are $1,000 plus. This is $10 a month investment in your shop, and I will give you just as much value as those $1,000 programs. So come over, check it out. Let me blow you away and help you. I hope to see you guys in there soon, but that's it for today. I will be back soon with some more good stuff for you guys.